The Sounds from Home project was created in May 2020. It was during UK's COVID lockdown. And I'm really accustomed to traveling for my music and connecting with people. So at about 1 or 2 months into the lockdown, I was starting to feel really kind of isolated from the world and a bit trapped actually as well. But I was really curious about how other people are handling the current situation as well. So I started the Sounds from Home project on social media. People are invited to share a sound recording from their neighborhood, also at the same time share their story and perspective. And I would then improvise a soundtrack to go with this and then post it on social media. The process is usually I would receive a field recording and their story. I will form an image in my head as well as get a sense of the core emotion that the sound and the story are communicating. At the same time, when I'm listening, I'm kind of taking notes of the technical elements from the sound. For example, the pitches of church bells or the rhythm of footsteps, the textures of the traffic driving by, and decide what kind of instrument I want to use. Once the image is set in my mind, I sit down and usually it just flows. I think actually what is really fascinating and what has really touched me about this project, I really got a perspective on how the world events, be it the pandemic or natural events or, political events, are impacting people in their everyday life. So this segment from Jakarta is a sound recording that came with a description that said, it's Ramadan and the kids are waking up the neighborhood for sahur at around 2:30 a.m. I wanted to interact and improvise with it in a way that was respectful for the culture and that made sense. So I did some research about Ramadan, about the sahur, about the tradition of having a drummer that wakes up the neighborhood. And then from that, I took the spirit of that into my improv. The ones that had a lasting emotional impact for me personally, the one from Nanning in China, because it was a sound of a person who worked in a hospital. She was reflecting on how nothing happened during this particular night, and it's a good night that nothing happened. I miss playing live a lot. Yeah, so much, so much. Being on stage, I think it's such a big part of both, my career and my purpose, what keeps me excited. And so I think right now we have to wait for the vaccine to have any chance of returning to maybe even just a small percentage of what we used to do before this pandemic broke out.